Day 88 verses 22-23, the never ending chase. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. Yesterday, we explored the power of creating a pause between external events and our emotional reactions, anchoring our happiness within ourselves. Today, the Gita exposes the hidden costs of sensory indulgence and points the way to true inner independence. Pleasures that arise from contact with sense objects are temporary and ultimately sources of suffering. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, so the wise do not take delight in them. The Gita says that pleasures born from the contact of senses with external objects eventually become a source of suffering, dukkha yonaya. These pleasures have a clear beginning and an end. Therefore, a truly wise person, Buddha, does not anchor their sense of satisfaction in them. This is not a rejection of pleasure. The Gita does not say external pleasures are fake. It says they are temporary. Every sensory indulgence has a shelf life. The meal ends, the applause fades, the new purchase loses its novelty. For a while, there is excitement and satisfaction, but slowly the feeling fades. The achievement becomes normal, the possession becomes familiar, the experience becomes a memory. What once seemed so important loses some of its power, and the mind begins looking for the next thing. The wise recognize this cycle. They enjoy life's pleasures but do not expect them to provide permanent fulfillment. One who can withstand the forces of desire and anger before leaving the body is a true yogi, and they alone are happy. One who is able to withstand and master the powerful urges born of desire, kama, and anger, krodha, is a well-aligned person, yukta, a truly stable human being right here in the middle of daily life. They have learned to sit with urges without instantly obeying them. They have learned to experience frustration without allowing it to take control of their actions. The Gita says that such a person is truly happy, not because they have never experienced desire or anger, but because they are no longer ruled by them. The verse uses the word vigam, which means an impulse or a current. Desire and anger don't creep in quietly. They hit the mind like sudden, powerful waves. If you try to fight a wave head on after it has already peaked, it will knock you over. Mastery lies in learning to tolerate and observe these impulses without instantly acting on them. A person who can sit steady through the internal storms of craving and frustration is truly free. Most of us have experienced moments when an impulse feels impossible to ignore. When a flash of irritation hits us because someone missed a deadline, or when a sudden craving for distraction strikes during a difficult task, we instantly obey it. We send a sharp email, we open a distracting app, or we voice a reactive comment. We assume that because we feel the urge, we must act upon it. These verses challenge the idea that we are helpless against our own impulses. The Gita does not ask us to stop feeling desire or anger. It asks us to change our relationship with them. He uses the word vigam, a physical velocity, because an impulse behaves exactly like a physical wave. It peaks sharply, floods our system, and demands immediate action. But if you refuse to feed a wave, it loses momentum and breaks. True discipline is the capacity to sit through that uncomfortable peak without moving. It means watching frustration rise in you, acknowledging its presence and consciously deciding, I will let this wave pass before I speak. Sometimes the most important moment is not when we get what we want, but when we discover that our peace does not depend on getting it. Thought of the day. In the middle of your busy day today, reflect. When a wave of frustration or instant gratification hits my mind today, can I simply watch it pass without letting it drive my actions? Thank you for joining me on Geeta 360. May we have the strength to sit through our internal storms today without reacting blindly. And may we discover that freedom often begins in the small space between an impulse and our response to it.